With studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9.
And I'm working
on
with
the
Sarah
CW
with Midland
West
Development
Texas.
Corporation because that's a huge undertaking. But it will give people jobs here, and it will let us have them made here in the United States.
For less than $100,000 and a minimum of a 90-day delivery, you can become the proud owner of a house that's almost literally out of this world. We've got the full story coming up. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we start tonight with a traffic alert. The Odessa Police Department is currently investigating a motorcycle crash in the 2700 block of North Dixie. Both northbound lanes on Dixie are currently shut down, and drivers are encouraged to avoid the area. And a developing story for you now. The Stanton Police Department are investigating at Shelburne Park after a body was found at the city park. According to the police chief, the man was dead when police and EMS arrived. Cause of death has not been determined, and Stanton Police will be investigating with the help of the Texas Rangers. And the city of Odessa is reporting 11 water main breaks throughout the city. You can see all these locations right there on your screen. The city says that despite these breaks, there are no road closures and no residents without water. There's no estimated time of completion, but the city says that the utilities department is working as quickly as possible. And in continuing coverage now, the selection of a new judge brought bittersweet feelings to Andrews County Courthouse this afternoon. Sam Jones was applauded by his community as he was sworn in. The same community that has mourned Charlie Falcon, their judge who died last month. CBS7's Hannah Brock was at the ceremony, and she joins us now with more. Hannah.
Jones has been a pillar in the community in previous county roles. As he took his oath to serve, he told the crowd he wants to help them mourn Judge Falcon and move forward. He's new to the judge seat, but Sam Jones is by no means new to Andrews County.
When I came to Andrews in 1981, met my wife here. She was born and raised here. Came to the Andrews County in 82, and I found a home. This is home.
Jones served as the Andrews County Sheriff for 16 years before retiring, then returning as a deputy. That's one reason why he was chosen from 10 applicants.
And you don't serve like he served just because it was a job. You serve because he loved the community. And we think that that's a very important virtue of this seat as county judge.
Jones was met with applause and smiles as he donned his official robe. Congratulations were mixed with praise for the late Charlie Falcon's legacy.
Charlie did a really good job with our community, with our county. He was a very good judge, and I think that Sam stepping in is a good representation of Charlie.
That's top of mind for Jones.
There's a lot of emotions, both ways, and it's just being available for the people and to help them to transition through this hard time.
With the position now official, Jones will take the center seat at Commissioner's Court as he transitions into his new role. For CBS7 First Alert News, I'm Hannah Brock.
Thank you, Hannah. We're going to talk your weather forecast now with meteorologist Sawyer McElroy in the Weather Center. Sawyer?
Yeah, it was a great day out there today. Temperatures not even too bad out there right now. Taking a look at our current temperatures across the state, 40s, 50s, 60s, and still hanging on to some 70s around the Brownsville area. Closer to home, we're looking at those temperatures in the 40s and 50s. 45 in Big Spring, 46 in Midland, 48 in Odessa, still hanging on to 52 in Presidio at the present time. Winds overall not too bad, anywhere from being calm to about 15 miles per hour across the region. Seeing those stronger winds near the Odessa area at the present time. Satellite and radar, a few showers kind of making their way out of the area. Just looking at some cloud cover tonight and the chance for some fog once again tonight. Going to be on the chilly side, temperatures in the low 40s as we head through tonight. And over the next 3 days, we are going to see those temperatures not too bad, relatively mild, 50s and 60s across the area. So looking like a great end to our week heading into our weekend.
For the last 5 years, Skylar Davila has been a registered nurse at MMH, which is the same amount of time that Lori Dias, the Director of Women and Children's Services, has also been there. Over that time, Lori has seen all of Skylar's hard work.
She's amazing. All of her patients absolutely love her. The staff love her. She's grown so much. I've had the opportunity to see her grow and do such a good job with all of the patients. She's been nominated numerous times for the Daisy Award. So.
Lori would also go on to say that she's extremely proud of all the hard work the rest of the nurses do each and every single day.
Hearing their stories of how they helped people but didn't want any credit for, doing the things that they did, and just being able to experience and hear stories from them from being, at work. And it just inspired me to be the same kind of person. Like, I wanted to be somebody's, life-changing person. Even if it's a small change or a big change, I just wanted to be that person that was like, oh, I'm going to remember you for the rest of my life.
Skylar's work didn't go unnoticed by her peers or patients. This marks her second Daisy Award and her fourth nomination this year. And there are many places we may never want to find ourselves. A rehabilitation center recovering from a catastrophic illness or injury is one of them. However, if that place happens to be the West Texas Rehabilitation Center, that's the place to be. Tara Bates with our sister station in Lawton, Oklahoma, traveled to Abilene to visit the center and brings us a closer look in part one of this three-part series.
For the last 71 years, the West Texas Rehab Center has been helping everyone from the very youngest to the oldest.
Literally, we're from the time they're born until the time they pass, and it's I tell people all the time that many of our employees are with that patient and their family when that baby's born, and maybe they're premature and they're in the neonatal intensive care unit and those types of things. And then a lot of times our staff's with that family when their loved one passes.
Steve Martin, president and CEO of West Texas Rehab, says it all began as a place to treat children with cerebral palsy. From then to now, it has expanded many times over, even to 3 locations and a multiplicity of services to include occupational, speech, and physical therapy for adults and children, orthotics like back and knee braces, even prosthetics in the form of limbs to hearing aids or balance treatments are available. Who pays for all of this? The center has 47 fundraisers a year, with the largest being their upcoming annual telethon.
Between what it costs to provide service and what we're actually reimbursed by insurance, our challenge between our foundation, which also supports the rehab center, and our fundraising is to raise about $8 million to break even. Because we see about 800 patients a day. Over a third of those get some or all of their care taken care of.
Last year's telethon was record-breaking, resulting in $1.85 million. Martin says because someone cares to donate, no one is refused care at the facility. But it's not just those sick and injured who find West Texas Rehab has helped them. The center also offers hospice and afterlife assistance for patients and their families. They provide a community-wide resource for those dealing with grief and mourning.
So we do a quarterly support group that meets once a week for 5 weeks. That's open to the community, free of charge. Anybody's welcome to come. We try to do a balance of giving some practical tools that might help with navigating someone's grief journey, but also and primarily just connecting people with other people who are going through their own grief.
The chaplain says they also offer memorial events such as releasing butterflies in June and in November, a candlelight ceremony. In our next segment, we will introduce you to 17-month-old Bella, who has an infectious smile and loves to read books. In Abilene, Tara Bates, Gray News.
Steve Martin, president and CEO of West Texas Rehab, says it all began as a place to treat children with cerebral palsy. Sorry about that. I don't know the script.
More is actually less. This is a very small home. It's 408 square feet, but it has everything you actually need to live in, to be in, to sleep in. But then you're free to go have your life, and you're not tied down by things and dusting things and cleaning things and taking care of things. And when you let go of all your things, you get to find happiness in who you are.
Athena Space Homes is also stepping beyond just providing homes. They're starting a nonprofit that will take a percentage of their sales to go towards helping people who afford homes. Athena Space Homes plans to make Midland the manufacturing headquarters of their company and creating job opportunities and boosting our local economy. And yesterday, you'll remember we told you about the Point in Time survey being done by groups in Odessa to get a count of the area's population of people experiencing homelessness. The city of Midland announced today that it will be doing a Point in Time survey tomorrow as well. It's happening during a resource fair from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Salvation Army on Wall Street. In addition to the county, dozens of nonprofits will be there to help people sign up for services that they need, connecting them to the resources that can help them. Now in your education news, in the Basin, UTBB has been chosen to advance to the First Scholars phase of the First Scholars Network. It's a recognition that UTBB was awarded because of its work to help first-generation college students graduate. UTBB does that through its Center for First-Generation Student Success.
So what we look to do is to smooth out those bumps, or when those bumps come, be ready with a team that can surround that student to help them get over that hump. Because when you aren't sure about something or you don't know where to go to help, it's really easy to just decide.
Now that the college is in its First Scholars phase, it will work to earn the title of Champion Campus. You're looking now at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. You can see all these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website, CBS7.com. And still ahead, border security continues to be a hot topic on Capitol Hill. We have the latest on some legislative talks coming up on CBS7 News at 9. A group of frustrated Republican senators came together on Capitol Hill to voice their concerns about the border security legislation talks. CBS 7's Washington, D.C. News Bureau Stetson Miller tells us about it.
Senate conservatives are not happy about how the border security talks have been handled here in Washington recently, and are also worried that any potential bill that may pass could tie the next president's hands.
It's not designed to secure the border, and it won't secure the border.
7 GOP senators criticized the border security negotiations that have been ongoing for months on Wednesday, saying they aren't sure if they'll actually solve the border crisis and have been left out of the discussions on the issue.
One thing that bothers me is we don't have text. We're all U.S. senators. We ought to be able to be sitting there negotiating. We ought to tell them what our thoughts are.
The senators say the little that they have heard indicates that the bill may actually even complicate matters more at the border.
This could cause as many problems as it solves. And there's a risk of it creating some much bigger problems that we don't even have right now.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin was also critical of the border discussions on Wednesday, saying the president should take action on his own and isn't sure that Congress can pass the changes needed.
I see the political games being played, and it's going on far too long. So, Mr. President, secure our border, declare a national emergency, and shut down this illegal immigration.
So it sounds like you don't have confidence that Congress is going to be able to do this.
I'm very leery.
But the White House argues that new border security legislation needs to be crafted in a bipartisan way with Congress behind it too.
We want to deal with what's going on at the border. He's taken this very seriously. He wants to make sure that we come up with a bipartisan agreement, but we need help, right? We need Congress to actually act and do their part as well.
In Washington, I'm Stetson Miller.
Well, it was a pleasant day out there today for our Wednesday, and the good news is we're looking at that pleasant weather to continue for the end of the week and into the weekend. I'll have all the details on what to expect coming up after the break.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your day. It was a decent one out there for our Wednesday. Looking at those observed highs across the state, 40s, 50s, 60s, and some 70s, even pushing 80 near Brownsville for today. Observed highs a little bit closer to home, 51 in Big Spring, 60 in Midland, 62 in Odessa, and 63 in Presidio. Looking at our weather makers, we have this upper level trough right here that brought us some moisture and slowly exiting our region. Looking at yesterday's rainfall, that's when we saw rainfall across the majority of the area. About 1/10 of an inch in Odessa, Fort Stockton, Alpine, Presidio, around 3/10 of an inch. So overall not super impressive, but hey, we'll take all the rainfall that we can get. Looking at our rainfall for today at Midland International, no rain today, but for the month we have had 8/100ths of an inch. We already do have a departure for the year of about 4/10 of an inch. So definitely need to make that up before we get too far of a departure like we had last year. Looking at our satellite and radar right now, a few showers kind of exiting the region, a little bit of cloud cover out there as well. Really, the people who have fared better with the rain is the central and eastern portions of the state. For our current temperatures, still not too bad. 40s and 50s out there, 46 in Midland, 48 in Odessa, 52 in Presidio at the present time. Winds overall not too bad either. Anywhere from being calm to about 10-15 miles per hour. Just a light breeze for us tonight. Looking at futurecast, looking to see a little bit of clearing, especially off to the west. But then we are looking at the chance for some more fog and some low clouds as we head into the early morning hours of our Thursday. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. But otherwise, not looking like too bad of a day for our Thursday either. Now let's talk about that fog. By about 11, looking to see reduced visibilities across the Permian Basin and into southeast New Mexico, and then really looking to see that continue as we head into the early morning hours of our Thursday. Looking to see those visibilities returning to normal by about noon, so hopefully not hanging on too long throughout the day before we see those getting back to normal. For our Thursday, going to be mild once again, highs in the 60s across the region, 63 and 64 in Midland and Odessa respectively. More sunshine the further southwest you go, but otherwise not looking like too bad of a day out there, especially for a January day. For our CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, a little bit of cold front rolling through Friday, dropping those temperatures back into the 50s for our Saturday and Sunday, but overall looking at temperatures above normal for this time of year, mild, lots of sunshine, and quiet conditions for the week ahead.
Boeing's CEO is on Capitol Hill insisting that Boeing planes are safe, despite the recent problems. We've got the full story next in your consumer news on CBS 7 News at 9. The FAA says that a nose wheel fell off of a Boeing 757 jet operated by Delta Airlines while the flight was lining up to take off at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. This comes as the 737 MAX 9s remain grounded, and with Boeing planes planning to pause operation at its factory in Renton, so teams can take the day to focus on product quality. Chris Van Cleve has more.
Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun is on Capitol Hill meeting with senators. Going into a meeting with Senator Warner of Virginia, Calhoun acknowledged there are a lot of questions that need to be answered, but insisted Boeing airplanes are safe.
We don't put airplanes in the air that we don't have 100% confidence in. I'm here today in the spirit of transparency.
This comes as the CEOs of two of Boeing's biggest customers, United and Alaska, express frustration with Boeing over the quality control issues that led to the door panel on a 737 MAX 9 blowing off in flight. Alaska's CEO says he is angry about the quality lapses. United's CEO says his airline has removed some of the 737 MAX planes they were planning to receive from their long-term planning because they don't believe that Boeing can make the delivery timeline. The airlines are also inspecting their 737-900 ERs, a previous generation of the 737 that also has that same door panel, to make sure the bolts on that airplane are all installed properly. The NTSB investigation is ongoing. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Phoenix.
The FAA is also under increased scrutiny. The administrator is set to face tough questions at a House hearing next month, and Boeing and the FAA are continuing to discuss the inspections that will ultimately need to be done, while those 737 MAX 9 planes remain grounded, resulting in hundreds of United and Alaska flights canceled daily. And still ahead, the miracle of life in an Oklahoma gas station. We've got the unforgettable story next on CBS7 News at 9. All right, before we go, here is a birth story that an Oklahoma family will hold for a lifetime. It all started on January 21st when the Manuel family was awaiting the arrival of their son. But with the icy road conditions, it was a slow, cautious trip, and the baby was coming fast. That's when the dad pulled off into a quick trip gas station, calling 911. But again, the icy roads meant it would take time for the paramedics to arrive. In the meantime, the 911 operator walked the mom and dad through it all, and their son was born right there in the Quick Trip parking lot. As you can see, the baby, his name is Rowan, and mom are happy and healthy. That is a crazy birth story.
Yeah, that's
in a Quick Trip
crazy.
gas station. You know, a lot of times when babies are born in these crazy situations, like the company will say, here's this for life because you were born here. I wonder if that baby will get free gas for life.
That would be nice.
That would be
because gas
super
is not
beneficial.
cheap. That would be very
I would
nice.
take some free gas for life.
But you know, glad mom and baby are healthy and that they were able to get him delivered okay. And And now the weather's getting better, which is good. We're seeing those temperatures for us in the 60s for tomorrow and really throughout the extended forecast. A little bit of 50s for the weekend, but otherwise above normal for this time of year in the 60s.
All right, well, that sounds great. Thanks for watching CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight on CBS 7 News at 10.